goes bunt, does bunt, right back to Chen. He goes to third for the force, back to first, double play.
The Birds know they can hit because they have.
Fly ball center field, Marisnic back on it, going back, it is good!
They know they can pitch because they have.
And he struck him out and the Orioles win.
It's the Orioles on Masson. A lovely night for baseball in downtown Baltimore as the Orioles welcome in the Houston Astros tonight. It's the middle game in this three-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Over the course of the long baseball season, every team in the major leagues battles the ups and the downs, the streaks and the slumps, the ebb and flow of the season. It is so much easier to win when you have consistent baseball. But the Orioles are slowly beginning to see some signs of things coming together, and in particular in the bullpen. The Orioles relief corps has been coming on, and if you go back over the past 8 games, you can see they are becoming a dominant bullpen, a bullpen that was expected. 3-1 over the last 8 games, 4 saves, and an ERA of 1.78, which is second best in the league in that span. 34 Ks to just 8 walks, and this season 12 different relievers have been used already, and 5 have wins. And Mike Bordick, when you look at the bullpen and how it's coming together, it's pretty amazing. With all that turnover going, guys coming up, guys coming down, they're pitching their best baseball of the year right now.
Well, they really are, and I think a lot of it has to do with the starting pitching. Starting pitching at the start of the season was very inconsistent. Some short outings, the bullpen was really being used up, and they got off to a very slow start. But I think when you have veteran arms in a bullpen like Darren O'Day, Tommy Hunter, everybody feels relaxed. They know things are going to turn around. And I mentioned Darren O'Day because he has been the bullpen leader. He is the captain out there in the bullpen. He's off to another great start, an earned run average of 1.06. He's throwing a 1.04 here this month of May. So he really leads by example out there in the pen. Tommy Hunter's been outstanding. Brad Brock has been outstanding. And I love their versatility. You know, so many guys in that bullpen have wins right now. And Buck puts them in trying situations, tough tested situations. And look at Oliver Drake. Buck Showalter puts Oliver Drake, his second outing in the big leagues, in a crucial situation in yesterday's ball game. But, you know, the depth of the organization is being tested once again. They go down and they get Tyler Wilson, bring up Oliver Drake, Chaz Rowe, and all of them have had success. And there's still other young arms, strong arms down in the minor leagues in AAA and AA. So the bullpen looks solid, and I think so much of their success hinges on the bullpen success.
So tonight it's the middle game of 3. Orioles looking for back-to-back wins as Chris Tillman goes to the mound for the O's. Lineups and first pitch are next.
banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Cherry 5-Hour Energy Shots, helping support Special Operations Warrior Foundation. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Well, a little warmer today than it was yesterday. Here's a look at our BGE game time temperature, which is 84 degrees. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? 84 degrees, just a slight breeze, but that humidity is on the rise, up to 54% under partly cloudy skies. Well, the Orioles looking to make it back-to-back wins over the Astros. Here is the Houston lineup for tonight. George Springer in that leadoff spot, 3 for 5, including a monster home run to deep left center field. Altuve, Tucker, and Gaddis with Rasmus in center field tonight. Valbuena, Carter, Castro, and Marwin Gonzalez, the shortstop, bats ninth.
And let's take a look at Chris Tillman's pitch arsenal this season, using that fastball at 57% of the time. The breaking ball, big overhand curve, 33% of the time, and the change, 10%. You see at the bottom of this graphic, 50 ground balls, 52 fly ball outs for Tillman. Well, pretty much true to form for Tillman, even when he flipped out 16 wins back in 2013. Very similar numbers there, about 50% ground balls and fly balls. See his numbers on the year. It's 2 wins, 5 losses, 6.10 earned run average. We'll talk about that later in the game. Toronto Blue Jays have given some problems there. Opponents hitting .287 overall. 6 home runs given up by Tillman. Tough test here for Tillman against this Astros lineup. Very aggressive team. His secondary pitches are going to be crucial for his success in this ball game. Obviously, locating the fastball important, but the curveball. Talking to Caleb Joseph, he said he thinks that's going to be a very important pitch to keep this Astros offense off balance.
Well, Tillman in search of his first win since April the 18th. And he's in an interesting stretch, Mike, which has now only happened 3 times since he first came up in 2010, having gone at least 5 consecutive starts without a win. Very un-Chris Tillman-like, and he's looking to end that tonight. Here's George Springer. Dangerous leadoff hitter because of the power, and Tillman misses inside 1-0. Now, last year, Tillman had a 6-start stretch, all in July, in which he didn't win. He was 0-1 with 5 no decisions. And the 1-0 swung on and missed, got it by him. And in 2010, July 19th through the 24th, he had a 5-start stretch where he went 0-2. So this only the 3rd time in his career where that's happened to him. And there is Steve Clevenger up from the minor leagues. 1-1 is hit past the mound towards the middle, and Hardy won't get it. And there's a leadoff single for George Springer, so he has 4 hits in the first 2 games in this series.
They've been finding their holes, this Astros offense. But let's take a look at the Orioles defense. Lowe, Jones, and Young in the outfield. Hardy and Pierce up the middle tonight. Machado and Davis on the corners, and Caleb Joseph once again behind the plate. Good news, Hardy getting the start tonight. Came out early in yesterday's ball game with some back tightness. Buck Showalter, of course, loves to have him on the field. His teammates as well. The field general makes everybody feel a lot more comfortable on this infield.
That gets Jose Altuve up. Altuve is 3 for 16 on this Astros road trip. They played 4 in Detroit before coming here yesterday. And he's batting at .299. 18 multi-hit games, and you see his home versus road splits, hitting better on the road. Throw to first to chase Springer back. Springer and Altuve, the top 2 hitters in this lineup, both will run. And the Astros tied for first in the American League as a team with 41 stolen bases. Of course, Tillman, very difficult to run on.
He sure is, but you think this team is going to put some pressure, or try to, on Chris Tillman. Came out early in yesterday's ball game, a couple base hits right out of the top. Didn't do a lot of running, but it's part of their game plan, speed and power. Yesterday we saw him flipping out a bunch of base hits, but unable to pick up the big hit, 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. But there's the manager, A.J. Hinch. He was happy with the production top to bottom, everybody flipping out the base knocks, just couldn't get the big one.
And the 2-0 is a double play ball. Pierce to Hardy, back to first. That eliminates the leadoff single and 2 men down.
Well, that's what you like to see right there. Steve Pierce, the versatile player. He's played first, second, and outfield for Buck Showalter. Look at the fundamental soundness. But Steve Pierce working with infield coach Bobby Dickerson down on the ball. Make sure he gets the shoulder squared to Hardy. Nice underhand flip on the first base. Very clean double play for the Orioles. Nice job by Chris Tillman to minimize some damage there.
2 down, the base is empty. Here is Preston Tucker. And a pop foul back out of play. Tucker, a rookie, has a 3-game hitting streak going, playing in his 15th game since coming up. And there's the first breaking ball, and it misses badly outside.
And Tucker, a nice young hitter. This Astros farm system filled with some young talent. Brought him up a couple pinch hits, home runs in the Tigers series. He has 2 home runs on the year. Nice batting average.
And a bouncer foul, 1 and 2.
Always a test when young players get called up, especially teams that you're not familiar with. The Orioles minor league teams don't play the Astros, so they can't really call anybody. So you have to do a lot of research. Get online, watch games that they've played against. They played the A's recently. I saw Bobby Dickerson today. He said he was following how their defense was keeping up with him.
Strike 3 called as Tucker looks it over, and Tillman gets out of it. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. And Astros go at it. Here's a look at the O's starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Machado, Paredes, and Jones with Chris Davis in the cleanup spot. Then Pierce and Delman Young. Delman 2 for 3. Each time he singled, he scored on a home run. Hardy, Lowe, and Joseph for the O's.
And let's take a look at Scott Feldman's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 74% of the time. Now he can cut his fastball. Also 2-seamer. Occasionally you'll see the 4-seamer, but the curveball is his breaking ball. Very slow pitch. Loves to get hitters out in front with that 23% of the time. And the occasional change, he throws a splitter for his changeup. But 89 ground balls this season, 42 fly balls, right on pace for Feldman. Throughout his career, very typical ground ball pitcher with that 2-seamer. See his earned run average at 5.17. Has had a tough month of May, though. 1-2 with a 6.35 in 4 starts. So he's looking to bounce back. Feldman's hitting almost 300 at 299 off Feldman.
So here's Machado, who was 5 for 8 against Feldman in his brief history, and he'll look at a strike. Manny's got an 8-game hitting streak going, 11 hits in those 8 games and 3 RBIs. And a good take, 1-1 the count. Now, Mike, Feldman as a pitcher, much like Chris Tillman, although, well, maybe not much like Chris Tillman. His ERA in first innings of games is 11. get them early.
Yeah.
Good off-speed pitch, 1-2.
It has been a tough spot for him this season. But you know what? Houston loves him. Veteran arm. They love the fact that he can eat up innings. He's had only a couple rough outings this season, but 7 of his 9 starts, he's gone over 6 innings. So they love Feldman, what he brings to this team. You know, he is a finesse pitcher. Loves to keep hitters off balance, kind of use aggressiveness to his advantage. So just like yesterday, the Orioles have to try to bring him up in the zone. If they swing at balls down, they're going to hit a lot of ground balls. So a couple mistakes yesterday by Keuchel, and the Orioles made him pay. They're looking to do the same today.
And Machado works the count to 3-2. Orioles have won 4 of their last 5 home games. Their record at home 12-8, 4 above. They're 8-14 on the road, 6 below. Our Showalter's Club 20-22 as play begins tonight. And the 3-2 has hit the deep right field, but right there is George Springer, backed up a few steps, and he's got it for the out and 1 away. Well, Jimmy Paredes finding success here in Baltimore. Of course, he began his career with the Astros.
Yeah, he did. He got his big league shot with the Astros. Played 118 games from 2011 to 2014. 234 with 3 homers, 41 RBI. But take a look. With the O's, 49 games, 326, 8 homers, 33 RBI, big slugging percentage of .541. He loves it here. He feels comfortable. He's older. He's 26 years old. He's had experience at the major league level. Once signed, or originally signed by the Yankees, but traded over, to the Astros for Lance Berkman, actually. So he got a taste of the big leagues with Houston. They started giving young players opportunities there, so that was a great chance for him to get that exposure. And I think just the maturity, being around, has helped him. And I'll tell you, spring training until now, he has not stopped swinging. Both sides of the plate look really good.
Gets ahead 1-0, and a bouncer foul, ball and a strike. Well, to give you an idea of how consistent he has been since he joined the Orioles in Boston when he came off the disabled list, he has gone hitless in the last 2 games. He's 0 for 6. It's the first time all year he's gone back-to-back games without a hit. I mean, this deep into the season, that's pretty tough to do. Scott Coolball works with the hitters very closely every day. Foul back. Now, Jimmy is 5th in the league in batting. Kind of ironic. He finally got enough plate appearances to qualify, and then he cooled off.
Right, yeah.
He led the league in batting for 1 day.
Right. Switches left-handed, obviously more at bats, but 349 to 6 homers, 22 RBIs. Right-handed, just 273. Not as much power from that side, but I think just the more opportunities from the left side has shown his consistency.
Now, Feldman, 32 years old. He was with the Orioles in 2013. The Birds acquired him from the Cubs. That was July the 2nd. Jake Arrieta and Pedro Strop went to the Cubs, and they are still in Chicago and doing well for the Cubs. Now back here in Baltimore as a visiting pitcher. 2-2 to Paredes is foul back. He is 3-0 pitching here at Camden Yards as a visiting pitcher. He went 5-6 overall with the O's. There are his career numbers. 62 big league wins. Now 32 years old. Born in Hawaii and then grew up in California. 2-2 on Paredes. And swept foul behind Wayne Kirby.
A pretty nice job by Paredes right there to stay on that ball. One thing good hitters do, tough pitches, to be able to keep that bat head through the strike zone as long as possible. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. Feldman really trying to mix it up, obviously staying down. That 5th pitch, a cutter that rode up and in on Paredes.
Line drive, base hit over the glove of Altuve. Even in the shift, Paredes able to get it into the outfield for a single.
Oh, another quality at bat from Jimmy Paredes. He gets the 4-seamer in the heart of the plate, and he does not miss it. Gets behind the baseball, stays through it, and just over the reach of Altuve for another Paredes base hit.
Well, he saw 7 pitches, so it tends to benefit the hitter the longer it goes. And Jimmy is on. He snaps his slump, his 0 for 6.
Right. Well, seeing a lot of pitches like that not only benefits Paredes, but everybody in the dugout. Let's see an extended look at Feldman, how he's trying to get a hitter out, what he's trying to do for that out pitch.
Here's Adam Jones. And he'll take a strike, and it's 0-1. Adam in April, 400, 244 in May. And maybe just trying to take on too much of the load on this team. The team has been struggling in the month, and he's a guy that likes to lead by what he does on the field, and sometimes you can play yourself out of your game by doing that. Ground ball towards short. There's Gonzalez to Altuve, and back to first. There's a double play. 6-4-3 ends the inning. So Feldman gets out of what has been a tough first inning for him. We'll head to the second, no score. When on the road, you're going to have a pretty good season. The Astros have done that.
Yeah, you are. Well, take a look at the comparison through 21 games. Last year, they got up to a 7-14 start and ended up 32-49 overall on the road. The fourth worst road record in baseball last season, but holy cow, what a turnaround. 14-7 this year, plus 30 run differential, scoring over 5 runs per game on the road. Everything up. Earned run average down, batting average up. So, you know, this team has really turned it around. The ERA, I think, is a huge factor. This Astros bullpen has been one of the better bullpens in the game so far this season. So, you know, a lot of good things happening for this Astros team. A nice mixture of youth and veteran leadership out there. And talked about their power and their speed already here the first 2 games.
Tillman misses outside to Evan Gattis. Rasmus on deck, then Valbuena. There are 5 left-handed batters in the Houston lineup tonight. One of those, Gonzalez, a switch hitter. And slice foul the other way. That'll be back in the crowd. Lefties have hit a bit better against Tillman, 312 to 263. So A.J. Hinch taking advantage of that. He has Rasmus starting tonight. Jason Castro's back in there. He is the regular catcher. And the breaking ball he wouldn't chase, and it missed. So there's the key pitch according to Mike Bordick tonight.
Yeah, that's a nice breaking ball right there, though. He's showing it early. Just flip it in there for a couple strikes here early in the ball game, and you're going to get some hitters that bite on that, especially with 2 strikes.
Threw it again, didn't get the call. Alfonso Marquez has the plate tonight. Tillman 0-4 with a 6.41 ERA in his last 5 starts. Very un-Tillman-like.
Yeah, you know, Chris Tillman, one of the veteran pitchers now for the Orioles, really considered the ace of this staff. A couple great years back-to-back, 16 wins, 13 wins. So, you know, he knows what to do. But I will say this about Tillman. He's one of those guys that if there are aches and pains, he's not going to say anything about it. He's going to take them out and give you everything he's got. And he missed a start already this year with some back tightness, and you wonder how long it's kind of been lingering for him. I think he battled through some of that even last year.
Let's get a look at our American Standard, who's hot and who's not, as Colby Rasmus comes up for the Astros.
Well, Delmon Young certainly hot in his career against the Astros, 316 with a homer and 4 RBI, but Colby Rasmus not this month, 206 with 25 Ks. Of course, Rasmus, good numbers against Tillman, a couple homers in his career against Chris.
Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. And Tillman gets ahead of Rasmus, who comes into this game 1 for his last 13, and he is 5th in the league in strikeouts.
Well, Rasmus definitely has holes. I think ever since he's been in the big leagues, even with Toronto the number of years there. If you make a mistake, he certainly has great power, nice leverage, so can hit the long ball. Take a look at his numbers against Tillman. Very impressive with the 2 home runs, a couple doubles mixed in there as well. 300 batting average, but he has long arms. You make mistakes up and out over, and he takes advantage of them, like most major league hitters. But there are holes, and Chris Tillman really has to expose and take advantage of his downtime right now.
For Tillman, I think the biggest number that would explain why he has struggled overall is how many base runners he's allowing per game. He's allowing 15 base runners per 9 innings. Last year he allowed 11.2. Strike 3 called. He got it right in there. So the low strike, and Rasmus just looks it over.
Great fastball from Tillman. Nice downhill angle, the bottom third of the plate. Called by Caleb Joseph. Nice finish there from Tillman. Rasmus almost looking for something else, it seemed. Maybe that breaking ball.
Luis Valbuena, the third baseman, another veteran that was brought in this past off season by the Astros. They picked him up in a trade with the Cubs. And a bouncer foul. Dan Straley came along with him to Houston. Dexter Fowler went to the Cubs to become their everyday center fielder. The Orioles saw Valbuena last year when they played that series at Wrigley Field. 29-year-old joining A.J. Hinch's club. And a foul back 0-2, so Tillman gets ahead.
Well, that's a key for most pitchers, the ability to get ahead and then go to work with the secondary pitches, the ability to expand the zone, a perimeter to the plate, and try to expose some weaknesses. Tillman very good at riding the fastball to the top of the zone. Love to see him bounce a couple curveballs here just to get the feel for it.
Orioles altered the shift on an 0-2 count. And then a slow roller foul. Tillman has excelled in his career against the AL West. He is 14-2 against the Western Division. 2-1 against the Astros, and the only other West team to beat him, Texas, and that was just once. And that could be the unfamiliarity, as you were describing. You just don't see these teams that often. And the 0-2 has popped up. Manny was at shortstop. He has a long run coming over. He's going to get there, and he's got it for the out. So 2 men down on the foul pop-up. Well, if Chris isn't pitching against the Blue Jays this year, I like his chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look at his numbers. Success versus the rest here. Versus Toronto, 3 starts, 0-3 with a 12.51 earned run average. Blue Jays raking him at 356 clip. The rest, 2-2 with a 2.93, holding opponents to a 2.45. So keep the Blue Jays out of Chris Tillman's way for a little while and let them settle in. And Blue Jays offense taking advantage of some mistakes from Tillman here in the early part of the season.
Chris Carter, first ball swinging, fouls it off.
You see Chris Tillman this season after 0-1, an 0-1 count. Opponents are hitting 269. For a 1-0 count, they're 333. So getting ahead very important for Chris Tillman. falls behind. They're really gearing up for the heart of the plate. Even expand a little bit. Look for one pitch, a fastball, and get it going. So that yesterday early, it seemed like this Astros team came out thinking, all right, we're just going to get ready for the fastball and start swinging. And they weren't really knocking the cover off the ball, but they were aggressive early in counts on Wei and Chen. So I think we look at the Astros hitting coach Dave Hudgens, who pretty excited about the offense, the talent he has right now. Dave Hudgens, my first professional manager for the Medford A's back in 1987.
There's a bouncer. Manny cuts in front of Hardy, and he fires to second at a better angle. And now he'll have to hear it from the veteran. Leadoff walk, one left, mid-second, no score. Has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play baseball buck scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Feldman, a one-out single to Paredes, but got a double play ball. Each starter allowed a hit in the first, but got out of it with the double play. Now 32 years old. He is big, 6'7". 15 pitches to get through the first inning. Here's Chris Davis leading off. Did not start in yesterday's game. And he'll take ball one.
Yeah, real good advantage when you have that type of height. Both Feldman and Tillman, tall guys, and we talk about that downhill angle. Makes it a little bit tougher on a hitter to square up a pitch. And if Feldman gets on top and creates that type of angle, he gets much better movement on that two-seam fastball to get the sink and the number of ground balls he gets, and even the cut fastball.
Ball on a strike. And it's upstairs with a fastball. Chris is just 1 for his last 12. And over his last 11 games has gone just 4 for his last 39. That is a 103 clip with 13 strikeouts. There's a bloop, and over there's the third baseman Valbuena, and he has it for the out and one away on the broken bat. You can celebrate summer at Oriole Park by picking up the new Birdland Summer 6-pack. Choose any 6 remaining games for the remainder of the season and enjoy savings of up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets. Now you could build the perfect plan for you, whether it's rivalry games or popular promotions, fireworks night, whatever you prefer. For all the details, Orioles.com/6-pack or call 888-848-BIRD. Some young fans here tonight, families out at the game. That face painter was busy tonight.
Yeah.
Here's Steve Pearce. Steve at 192, but he is 6 for his last 25, so he is trending the right way. And 3 of those 6 hits in his current stretch home runs.
Well, the Orioles have had a couple offensive players that haven't kind of performed up to what we've seen in the past. Steve Pearce, one of those players, but it is not from lack of work. Both Pearce, Chris Davis, who was just up, talked about his struggles, but they're both out here working with Scott Coolbaugh. You see Steve Pearson's power zone yesterday, able to get into a fastball on that outer third, but likes it up and out over. Indeed, and he does some damage here at Camden Yards as well.
Outside, ball 3. So when you get a couple of hits, your confidence comes back, and then you become more patient at the plate, and you let those pitchers' pitches go by, and you work the count in your favor. 3-1 with 1 down, and there's a walk. So the first walk allowed by Feldman, and the Orioles get a 1-out base runner.
Nice take right there from Steve Pearce. So he is seeing the ball better, not chasing, trying to do too much. Nice patient at bat.
That'll get Delman Young to the plate with a man on. Delman is looking for his first home run of the year. He does have 5 doubles, but no long balls as of yet. And there's a strike, 0-1. Really, the consistent power threats in this lineup are Jones and Davis. Those are the 2 guys that opposing teams look at and say, well, let's keep them in the ballpark. Other Orioles obviously capable of hitting home runs. There's a bouncer to Altuve, could be 2. He goes to Gonzalez, back to first, nicely turned, 4-6-3, and that ends the inning. So Feldman, a double play in each of the first 2 innings to get out of possible trouble. We played 2 at Camden Yards. The pitchers in command early on. Orioles and Astros, no score. The William Pinder Hughes Elementary School in West Baltimore, as the Maryland Food Bank, several Orioles and their wives distributed food. Miguel Gonzalez and former Orioles catcher Ryan LaBarnway helped hand out food, and Travis Snyder and Brad Brock spoke to children inside the school. William Pinder Hughes has a food pantry that is open all year long, and of course with the recent events in the city, a lot of people are in need, and nice of the Orioles to help out. Now don't forget, mark your calendar, June 12th to the 14th, when the Yankees are in town here. Orioles reach, and the Orioles will continue their annual food and funds drive, all to benefit the Maryland Food Bank right here at Camden Yards, and that is a tremendous way to help the community.
It sure is. Everybody is a part of that, takes part of that. The wives, the players, you and I do. It's a lot of fun, and it's obviously a very worthy cause in helping out the city of Baltimore.
And you and I love when it's a Yankee weekend, because we embarrass the Yankee fans and to throw more money into the pot.
Right, exactly.
Hey, Johnny, come on, throw a 20 in there, Johnny. 2-0 on Jason Castro leading off. Marwin Gonzalez and George Springer follow against Tillman. And there's the strike, 2-1. Castro came up through the system with the Astros. He is a former first-round pick, 10th overall pick in the 2008 draft out of Stanford. Buck Showalter was talking about that before the game. He was asked about the Astros' resurgence, and he said, well, they had such a tough time for so long. Look around the field at how many #1 picks are out there.
Yeah.
You usually don't miss on a #1 pick. It does happen, but usually no. And Castro is one of those in the Astros' everyday lineup. From 2-0 to 2-2. Up and away, ball 3.
You don't want to have those consecutive losing seasons, but it does give you an opportunity to bolster your organization if you have a good scouting department. And some of the players have certainly panned out for this Astros team, and the way they've gotten off to such a good start. Now it's a combination of what they do in the offseason and some of the veteran players they have.
Well, leadoff walk on the check swing. Bruce Dreckman said he checked in time. So for the second consecutive inning, Tillman walks the leadoff batter. The Orioles joined Major League Baseball in honoring our armed forces yesterday by wearing the special jerseys and caps with the camo pattern. And you could show your support. Visit Orioles.com/auction and place a bid on one of these unique items. Each jersey and cap has been autographed by the player or coach who wore it, authenticated, and now available for the option. The proceeds will benefit the Fort Meade Alliance Foundation. So for your bids and for more info, Orioles.com/auction. Number 9 batter Marwin Gonzalez. He does have 2 sacks on the year. He's going to swing away, and he takes outside. And Alfonso Marquez early on here, pretty small strike zone.
Yeah, pretty good pitch right there from Chris Tillman. Like the way he's working the fastball, keeping it down in the zone. Pretty consistent. A couple walks here though in the early going, and the walks certainly don't help Chris Tillman. His last start, his 3-inning outing before the rain delay, had 3 walks, so too many pitches thrown.
Yeah, he's averaging just under 5 walks per game. His career numbers are just over 3. So when you walk 2 batters more per game, and then you're allowing more base hits per game, there's all those extra base runners we talked about.
Yeah, it takes its toll.
Gonzalez has a almost pine tar full bat. 1-1 the count. Switch hitter batting left. And he fouls it off the other way, so 1-2. We were talking yesterday about the Astros and some of the trades they made when they were down and deciding, you know what, we're going to rebuild this and we're going to start from within. And you go out and you make trades. You trade off your veterans that have talent. And the VR came for Roy Oswalt. He was in A-ball. Well, the Orioles did that when they got Tillman, when he was acquired from Seattle. Line to left field. Right there is David Lowe, and he's got it for the out and 2 men down. Tillman pitched in A-ball in 2007. He began the year in low A and then finished in high A. And then in February following that season, he was traded to the Orioles. So he was an A-ball pitcher that no one except the Orioles scouts, Andy McPhail at that time and his staff, had heard of. And when he joined the Orioles organization in 2008, he went to Bowie. So he was without a doubt somebody for the future. Adam Jones joined the team right away, but not Tillman.
Right.
So those are the types of trades that can help your team long term. You just have to be patient for it to come around.
Yeah, you certainly have to have that kind of foresight and trust the player development when you take chances at younger players by way of trade.
Line drive foul down the line off the bat of Springer. Now, the Astros have done such a good job. They have so many players coming, including Correa, the shortstop, is only 20. He dominated Double-A so much this year, they moved him to Triple-A, and he's dominating there.
Yeah, they're waiting for him anxiously. I was talking with A.J. Hinch earlier today, and they said that they were pulling for him to make the team out of spring training.
Just outside, 1-1.
Here's another one of their young stars.
Another first-round pick. 11th overall in 2011 is Springer. Castro, first round in 08. They also have Colby Rasmus and Hank Conger. Rasmus signed as a free agent. Conger was acquired in a trade. They are former first-round picks. Line to right field. Delman Young is there, moves back on it, and has it for the out. He's going to throw behind the runner, not in time to get the play. Let's get a look at our PNC minor league report, since we're talking about player development. And Connor Bierfeld having a pretty good year for Delmarva.
Yeah, sure is. Out of Western Connecticut State University last night, 1 for 3 with a 3-run home run. And this season, 7 home runs, 44 RBI. That's the 3rd most in all of the minors. So Connor Bierfeld making his name known, and he had some pretty good numbers last season as well. 27 doubles, 12 homers, 67 RBIs. So his name is certainly being followed now. It's an offensive threat. I read an article about him where Brian Graham was quoted as saying tremendous raw power.
Past the mound, there's Hardy. He'll step on the back for the force, and that'll end the inning. So leadoff walk and 1 left, mid-3rd. Pitchers in control, no score. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By PNC for the achiever in you. And by your local Mercedes dealership. There's the sculpture of Hall of Famer Jim Palmer in Legends Park. Looks like Cates was about to throw a slider.
Yeah, maybe fingers close together there.
Look at the slider grip, number 22. One of the retired numbers with the Orioles. James Alvin Palmer. I miss Jim. We haven't seen him in 2 days. Feldman, 26 pitches to get through 2 innings. Go to work on J.J. Hardy, then David Lowe and Caleb Joseph. He has faced the minimum 6 through 2 innings, even though the Orioles have had a base runner in each. 2 double play balls got him out of trouble in each.
See JJ's power zone. Likes the ball up. Really great plate coverage up above the strike zone.
Line to right field. Springer was shallow, goes back on it. And he has it for the out and 1 away. So JJ hit it hard, but Springer there for the out. Feldman born in Hawaii. He is only the 4th pitcher in Astros history to have been born in our 50th state. Jerome Williams, Brian Fisher, and Sid Fernandez are the others. Sid Fernandez also at one time pitched with the Orioles. Most of his career in the good years were with the Mets. Kailua, Hawaii. Is 4 a little or a lot? Maybe it is a lot.
Seems like a lot.
Bouncer, big, oh, foul ball down the line. Bruce Dreckman did not feel it went over the base.
Pretty good piece of hitting right here by David Lowe. Backing it up.
Oh, yeah, it was
Slap
foul.
it through the drawn-in infield. Very close, though. Really fun to watch David run.
And that's good to see that he's slapping at the ball. Bruce Dreckman right on that.
Well, pretty pronounced shift they have on right now. The right side of the infield filled up. Short.
And cued foul. That'll stay foul. David down on the count 0-2. David 5 out of 20 in May, so the batting average at 250 in the month. He's in there tonight. Left-handed bat against Feldman. He's also 4 for 5 against Feldman with a home run. Buck loves to play those trends when filling out the lineup card with the players who don't play every day. Outfield very shallow on David Lowe. And a comebacker. Feldman on it quickly, throws, and it goes down the line. And David Lowe will head for second. Oh, speed can bother a player, and it bothered Feldman. He rushed the throw, and in his haste, he threw it down the line.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. A little chopper out in front, another ground ball. But Feldman has to rush, tries to throw it from down under, and works in a way up the first base line. Darren O'Day had delivered to Carter, but it's into the runner, David Lowe. And Lowe finds himself in scoring position at second base.
So it is an error all the way, but the Orioles get a break and get David Lowe with good speed to second base. Here's Caleb Joseph, who hit a 2-run home run yesterday. Now 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. Now Altuve trying to keep David Lowe close at second base. Outside ball 1, and here's the home run yesterday that just did get out.
Yeah, one of the elevated pitches from Keuchel, and he puts it in the first row. It's his first home run at home this season.
Feldman gets very deliberate with men on base. Breaking ball in the dirt, nicely blocked by Jason Castro. David Lowe does not have a steal on the year, but the Astros are still respecting his speed. You see Altuve, he's hovering just behind David Lowe in the shift.
And the Astros, one of the more well-known sabermetric following teams, always shifting. Last year, led all of baseball in the amount of shifts that they have, so not a surprise that Altuve is standing right behind David Lowe, and the right-handed hitter up.
A lot of room in left center field for Caleb, which is surprising because he can pull the ball. His power is pull power. 2-1 on him. And a good eye, ball 3.
Well, Feldman being careful here, mixing up his pitches. Really never falls into any type of pattern. He's comfortable throwing all of his pitches. And here being careful with Caleb Joseph. Has the open base. He's already rolled up a couple double play balls in this game.
3-1, good hitters count for Caleb. And he walked him, ball 4. So 2 walks in the game. He's averaging 1.8 walks per 9 innings. So the Orioles, with a couple of patient at-bats, get 2 on with 1 out. And the error looming large in this inning for the Birds. Here's Manny, who lined out his first at-bat to right field. There are 3 Orioles that are on extended home run droughts. Manny Machado, Adam Jones, and Chris Davis. All 3 of those hitters all homered in the same game, May 11th, and neither have homered since. For Manny, it's now 54 consecutive at-bats. For Adam, it's 51, and for Davis, it's 43. 1-0 the count. And when you look at how the Orioles spread it around, players with at least a home run on the season the most, the Orioles with 13, the Astros with 13, only Tampa Bay and Texas with 14 players have more. Orioles are 6th with 48 home runs as a team, well outside. Ball 2, and Castro's going to go talk to him. But that's one of the things, you know, if you're the Orioles, as Brett Strom looking on, you know you haven't hit your stride at the plate yet. You know the power's there, but it's been inconsistent. It's pretty promising if the track records of the players return to what they're expecting.
Oh, it sure is, and I think that's what they're counting on, more consistency. Of course, Adam Jones has that great track record, even Davis with his power numbers. Manny Machado still yet to be seen as far as home run production, even though this year off to a pretty good start driving the ball, but they miss players like Jonathan Scope. You know, even Ryan Flaherty was off to a nice offensive start this season, but those two guys with good power.
David Lowe at second, reached on the error. Caleb Joseph is at first, not being held, gets a good lead. And 2-1 on Machado. Ball 3. So Feldman, it looks like he's getting a little cutter happy here and trying to get the Orioles to swing and chase it so they can't barrel it up.
And you see the Nissan pitch track against Machado, keeping everything away. Dangerous, man. He gets those arms extended.
Foul back, good cut, 3-2.
Good pass there, but yeah, Feldman a little too fine. Of course, being careful with Caleb. Has confidence in himself, I think, to get the ground ball. That's why he was trying to get Caleb to fish and chase some of his pitches. 42 pitches at this point, 71% fastballs, and that's a cut fastball and that two-seamer. So sticking with his game plan.
Full count with 1 down. Runners don't go. Ground ball towards short, backhanded by Gonzalez to Altuve for 1 and back to first for a double play. And a 3rd consecutive inning, Scott Feldman gets an inning-ending double play. We'll head to the 4th, no score. Offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit us in-store or online at mile1.com. Late afternoon game tomorrow to close out the series at 4:30. And then the White Sox come to town to make up for the games lost during the unrest in Baltimore. It's a straight doubleheader, 1 o'clock on Thursday. And then the Rays come to town for the weekend, and 3 different starting times. 7 o'clock Friday, 4 o'clock on Saturday, and 1:30 on Sunday. And that'll wrap up the homestand. Beautiful night in downtown Baltimore. Chris Tillman goes to work here in the 4th. He's allowed 1 base hit. He has walked 2 through the first 3 innings. And a little bit high, taken by Preston Tucker. Tucker called out on strikes his first at bat. 24 years old. He'll turn 25 in early July. Played at the University of Florida in the Southeastern Conference. Real good baseball there.
I was talking about Tucker and how the Orioles were planning on defensing him since they didn't have a lot of scouting reports. And talking to Bobby Dickerson, the amount of time that they put in just on one player to make sure that the scouting reports are down. Now here the Orioles playing the big shift. And they have different options, obviously, to slide J.J. Hardy back over on the shortstop side. But Bobby Dickerson was studying videos of how other teams defended him, teams that had seen him before and played against him in the minor leagues, who had a better scouting report, much more, many more chances to look at him and his tendencies. So it's never ending. I mean, you always have to do your homework, you keep studying, keep grinding, trying to find ways to get the advantage on your side. No difference here against this young hitter Tucker as far as positioning him.
The Orioles video room is a pretty amazing place.
It really is. A lot of information in there.
It almost looks like they're selling stocks. I mean, that's how many computers are in there. But all have the video, and they can call it up instantly what they want to see. 3-2 is outside, ball 4, and Tillman has walked 3. In the last 3 innings, he has walked the leadoff batter. So he is really playing with fire here. Calling all O's fans. Get in on the action by getting social with Masson. Never miss a game update, behind the scenes moments, or exclusive contests. Follow @MassonOrioles on Twitter for all the latest Birds buzz. Again, that's @MassonOrioles on Twitter. Evan Gattis walked his first at bat, batting at .203. He does have a modest 2-game hitting streak going. Popped him up, first pitch. Chris Davis is calling. Here comes Pierce. He has the better angle, and Pierce squeezes it. So not only does that help Tillman with the out, it's on one pitch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chris can get into some trouble with obviously the base on balls, but also the foul balls has been a problem for Chris to really jack up that pitch count. So anytime you can get a first pitch out, really helps Chris Tillman.
Colby Rasmus called out on strikes his first at bat. The Astros lead the American League in strikeouts, 427 as a club, and they have struck out 2 times here tonight. That works out to an average. Fouled off just below us. The Astros are striking out 9.3 times per game. So basically they are averaging on the year a strikeout per inning. But they are first in home runs, and they are 5th in runs scored. And that's how they're 29-17, despite having the worst batting average in the American League at .233.
Well, it works. And we've seen it work here with the Orioles, who have been a powerhouse offense for the past few seasons. It has led to winning baseball. But you also have to have other things on your side. You have to have good defense, and you have to have strong pitching. The Astros have gotten some pretty good starting. We saw Keuchel, their #1 yesterday, who coming into yesterday's ball game was 6-0. But it's the bullpen. This Astros bullpen has been outstanding for them. So the combination of solid defense and then playing for that 3-run home run has helped this team with the early success. Hitting coach Dave Hudgens really likes that.
0-2 on Rasmus. Runner at first with 1 down. And he got him again. Swinging strikeout. Got a fastball by him. So Rasmus is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Number 3 for Chris.
Just 90 miles an hour, but located at the top of the zone. And we talk about the downhill. When Chris Tillman elevates, it's a very effective pitch for him. It's that extra life right at the top of the zone. It's not 94, 95. There's enough there. I think there's deception involved in Tillman, and especially when he works that fastball, almost like a riser at the top.
Luis Valbuena popped foul to Manny at third, his first at bat. First ball swinging, a slicer down the left field line. A long run for David Lowe, and that fades foul, unfortunately so. Mike, you look at the Astros, they're 29-17. They've been in first place since April 19th. And they've built this record and their lead by taking advantage of 3 teams. They're 6-1 against Seattle. They're 6-3 against Oakland. And they're 4-0 against Toronto. So that is a 16-4 record against those 3 teams. 12 above 500 against those 3. And they're 18-11 within their division, and that's how you win division titles. You play well against the teams in your division. This ball is trouble. David Lowe a long way over, not going to get there, and it bounces up against the wall. Heading to third and being sent is Tucker. Here's the throw home from Hardy towards the plate. He is out at the plate. A perfect relay. David Lowe to Hardy to Caleb Joseph. And that's how the 4th inning ends, the top of the 4th. As the Orioles gun down the first run of the game potentially at the plate. Outstanding play all around for the Orioles. So the double and the runner gunned down at the plate, Tucker, as it goes 7-6-2, and there will be no challenge. So Caleb Joseph gave him a lane. He made the tag, and we go to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. On Saturday, June 27th, the Orioles unveiled a first look at the Buck Showalter Garden Gnome. This has been a secret. We have not seen the gnome, but we're about to reveal it to you. Here he is getting closer to Camden Yards, out there in the bar in center field, and there it is. There's the Buck Showalter Gnome, and first 25,000 fans, 15 and over, June 27th. Against the Indians, get that gnome at 7:15 p.m. So what do you think? You think the skipper's going to enjoy the likeness of his gnome?
Sure. Why not? I mean, gnome, that's the new thing?
That's
instead of the bobblehead?
That's exactly right.
So there you go. And Buck should be proud of that. Manager of the year on the back.
Paredes against the shift. There's a base hit. Jimmy's 2 for 2. So now you like to collect things like that, right? Will you get a Buck gnome and put it in your garden of the?
I hope. I hope.
Bordick Estate.
Yeah. I hope I can get a Buck Showalter gnome. I do. Nice collector's item.
I don't have a Mike Bordick bobblehead. Can you get me one of those?
No, I can't. Because there isn't one. Now that they're done doing that, maybe a gnome will come out one day.
Or maybe you get a T-shirt. Bordy. No one's wearing your number at the moment, so you can claim it back. Here's Adam Jones, bounced into a double play his first at bat. Orioles have had runners each inning but have not yet scored. And it gets away from Castro, and Paredes is going to advance. That's been a problem of Feldman all year. That's his 7th wild pitch.
Castro a little upset at himself letting that one get away. The breaking ball over the top. He gets himself, just doesn't get himself in a finished position to block this ball, kind of staying up, and it kicks off the glove and arm. Paredes a little step back, but kicks far enough away or cruises in the second base.
The way Feldman has been pitching the Orioles away, this is setting up nicely for Jones to poke one in the right field. Altuve shading way up the middle. And he misses away. Altuve's been trying to keep, when the Orioles have a runner at second base, this is their second time with a runner there, trying to keep him close. But it opens up most of the right side if you can get a pitch to hit that way.
And you're right. Feldman does stay away to the righties with the two-seamer, backdoors it in there, and then cuts it off that outside corner.
2-0 on Jones. Ball 3. Feldman has walked 2. He has allowed 2 hits, both to Paredes. Adam is just 2 for 21 against Feldman in their head-to-head matchups. But he is ahead 3-0. Ball 4, 4-pitch walk. So the third walk, and the Orioles have first and second, and nobody down. Brent Strom, the pitching coach, is coming out for a chat. The Astros starters have an ERA combined of 4.30. That's 8th in the American League. The Orioles starters are 9th at 4.34.
Well, it doesn't hurt when you have Keuchel, one of the best lefties in the game, if they're posting the earned run average that he has. But right now, Feldman just losing his command a little bit. Typically pretty solid around the plate. He entices hitters, tries to get him to expand the zone a little bit. But right now, he isn't able to get ahead, falling behind and then trying to be too fine maybe with his mechanics and just pulling balls off the outside corner.
And Chris Davis on a broken bat bloop popped up to the third baseman Valbuena. And a very interesting shift on. You see the infielders on the right side, but you saw Rasmus out there in center field towards the left center gap. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Take a look at Scott Feldman this season after an 0-1 count, a .281 opponent batting average after a 1-0 count, .295. So not a lot of difference there from Scott Feldman. And typically, like Chris Tillman, we saw the big disparity and fell behind.
Slices it the other way. It's fading back and reaches the crowd, and a nice grab by the fan with his hat. You should celebrate. I got it. I got it.
Everybody gets excited about the foul ball, but I think it's important that when you do try to make a catch with your hat, you use 2 hands on the hat so it doesn't get yanked out of your one hand down onto the field. So a good play right there.
Feldman ahead of Davis, 0-2. And he struck him out. So 3-pitch strikeout. Davis down on strikes. There's number 63 strikeout wise for Chris.
Well, you want to see Davis aggressive, but after 4 straight balls to Jones, he gets him swinging on all 3 pitches, and here chasing the big curveball. See how far out in front he is on the Feldman breaker. Feldman's curve only 72 to 75 miles an hour, so very slow pitch. Have to be patient and stay back.
Here is Steve Pearce. Runners hold at first and second now with 1 down. Breaking ball. Steve Pearce here at Camden Yards. He has very much enjoyed hitting here. Just a tick under 300 with 21 home runs and 57 RBIs.
Big home run in yesterday's ball game. A breakout season last year where he had 21 home runs for the entire year.
And a pitch taken low. Now the Astros, I'm intrigued by the way they're defensing the Orioles hitters here. They must feel that because of that cutter, in this case Pierce, a right-handed batter, may roll over and hit a ground ball to the left side. But look at Rasmus out there. The center fielder's towards right center. So they're expecting, if it's hit to the outfield, to go the other way with it.
Yeah, most outfielders will play off compared to the infield. Infield on the ground, expecting Pierce to pull the ball in the air, go the other way. Of course, on yesterday's ball game, that home run to right center. And you see Steve Pierce's hits by direction, 15 to left field. So he is a pull hitter through to center, just the one to right field. But we've seen Steve Pierce, when he is right, he can use the whole field and drive the ball to both alleys.
And the 2-1 is outside, ball 3. Let's get a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers, and both these teams live by the long ball, and the percentage of runs driving in will bear that out.
Yeah, they sure do. I mean, you see by way of the home run, 99 runs, 205 total for the Astros at a 48.3 clip. The Orioles 73 runs by way of the homer, 186 total, so 39. So big numbers, power teams. So the Orioles would like to get more guys on base when they hit their long ball, but they have power throughout the lineup. You mentioned Jones and Davis, certainly in the heart of this order, the two guys that they lean on. But when Scope's back in here, it just seems like 1 through 9 has that ability and really puts a lot of pressure on the opposing staff and even on defense.
3-2 on Pierce. Runners don't go, and it's bounced foul. Well, to give you an idea of how critical home runs are for the Orioles in their success, the Birds have won 20 games on the year. They've homered in 17 of the 20 wins. Chris Davis leads the team still with 8. And the big strikeout there, not able to advance the runners, as the Orioles trying to break out here in the 4th. Another 3-2 pitch to Pierce. Slice foul the other way.
Good swing right there from Steve Pierce. Like the way he backed up the last pitch. Fastball away. Drove it foul, but the prior pitch, there's a little two-seamer that ran in. He was able to pull it. So good coverage. Seeing the ball seems very well right now. Quiet at bats.
Feldman really takes his time with men on. Runners go. 3-2 is swung on and missed. Throw to third. He is safe at third base. It's a double steal. Valbuena's asking Hinch to check. He thought he got the tag down.
Oh, like that aggressiveness there. Nice call from Buck Showalter, getting the runners in motion in hopes that Pierce obviously would put a ball in play or walk on the 3-2 count. Brady's out there getting a pretty good jump. Strong throw, but the hand got in there. Valbuena just a little late getting there.
A.J. Hinch is asking. And we've had an umpire change from yesterday. Tom Hallion has rejoined the crew. He's the crew chief. Ben May, a minor league umpire, was here in the game yesterday. So Tom Hallion with Bruce Dreckman, who made the call. And here's the. He's safe.
Got that hand in there. It's good to see the Orioles getting the runners in motion. Spark this offense a little bit.
Tom Hallion back with his crew after getting Labor Day off, or Memorial Day off yesterday, resting his labor. Yeah, he's clearly safe by that angle. And in, then the tag.
Yeah, showing the good speed, the big guy.
And when they do the reviews, as they listen into the umpires in New York, you get the crew chief and the umpire who made the call coming into the headsets. And he is safe. So the Astros lose their challenge now as they challenge to get out of the inning. But it's a double steal for Jones and Paredes.
And the fact that Buck Showalter gets Jones and Brady's in motion keeps them out of that double play that working so well for Feldman. 3 innings, 3 double plays.
So here's Delman Young with a chance. 2nd and 3rd and 2 down. Feldman, after the hit and the walk, has struck out back-to-back hitters. Line drive left field. That ball is caught as it hung up for Preston Tucker. He went down to a knee, but it hung up for him. So Feldman gets out of it. The Orioles strand 2 more through 4. No score. Late afternoon showdown. So tell your boss Mike Bordick said it's okay to skip out of work early and come on down here and keep that holiday weekend going with a great late afternoon of Orioles baseball. For your tickets, Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Is that the advice you gave all the folks?
Yeah, don't blame it on me. They should come out and watch the game.
Chris Tillman, 54 pitches through 4 innings. He has not had a 3-up, 3-down inning. He's allowed 2 hits, 3 walks, and the difference in this game through 4 innings is the base runner Tucker gunned down at the plate to end the 4th. Carter, Castro, Gonzalez lower 3rd up here in the 5th. Check swing and appeal. Didn't go.
Changeup right there from Tillman. A little 2-seam action, 82 miles an hour. Great location down in the zone, and boy, that one could have gone either way.
Weak swing, 2-1.
Good hitters a little in between when you start mixing it up. Hard, soft, hard, soft. And that changeup getting Carter off balance.
Bouncer towards 3rd. Manny to his left. Gobbles it up and fires to get him. And 1 away. Now let's see. What is the best division in baseball? Is it the AL Central? .541 winning percentage. Of course, many think it's the AL East, but right now the AL East has the worst winning percentage of the 6 divisions. NL West is up there. NL West has the Dodgers 10 games above and the Giants 6 games above. In the Central of the American League, you got Kansas City, Minnesota, and Detroit all above 500. That helps that average out. It is surprising, though, to see the AL East at the bottom. Yeah. And that, in part, I think, is because early on, with the way the schedule went, where they were playing each other so often, they just got beaten up on each other.
Yeah.
Hard to get above 500 when you're winning 1 and losing 1 and winning 1 and losing 2 and winning 2 and losing 1. Castro takes a strike, 1-1. Tillman in search of that elusive third win. He last won April 18th in Boston. Pulled right to Davis, down on a knee. He'll get it. And run to the bag unassisted. 2 men down.
A nice breaking ball right there from Chris Tillman. The secondary pitches starting to come into play here in the middle of the ball game. It's Carter a change in fastball, change up, fastball, change up, and there get Castro out in front with the slow breaking ball. Good pitch.
Marwin Gonzalez, who is the backup shortstop, getting a start here tonight. He is out of Venezuela, as is Jose Altuve, and as is Luis Valbuena.
Oh, it must have been just off the plate. No,
yeah.
Pretty close though.
Lifted to left, has some carry, low back on it. He'll get there. And David has it for the out, and Tillman has his first 3 up, 3 down inning as the Astros go in order here in the 5th. Bottom of the 5th coming up, no score. Unified relay across America, the torch that will eventually light the cauldron that will start the 2015 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Los Angeles, came to Camden Yards. Ceremony started outside, then came inside after Schaefer Circle. And Dante Lathan, a Special Olympian softball player from Baltimore County, throughout the ceremonial first pitch. Nicely done by the Special Olympians and the Orioles, and the Oriole Bird helping out. And we encourage everybody to support the Special Olympics. Just a great thing that those athletes go through, and they deserve their own games, and they have them in Los Angeles. Oliver Drake was on the field handing out hats. There were quite a few of the Olympians out there.
Yeah, that was pretty special. Now, are they going to bring that torch all the way across to LA?
All the way across.
Wow.
In each state, other Special Olympians meet up and they pass the torch, and then those Special Olympians take it to the next border, and
that's awesome.
There they go. Hardy leading off. Off speed pitch, can't reach. 1-2. Feldman, like Tillman, does not have a 3 up, 3 down inning through 4. Tillman did get a 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. JJ lined out his first at bat. Grounded towards short, Marwin Gonzalez. And he'll get Hardy for the out, and one away here in the Oriole 5th. First pitch for game 1 of the special single admission doubleheader against the White Sox coming up Thursday has been moved up. It's now a 1:05 first pitch. Tickets for the originally scheduled game on Monday, April 27th will be valid for the traditional twin bill. Now, other tickets are available, so come on out and enjoy 2 games for the price of 1. For your tickets, Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Here's David Lowe. He reached on a throwing error by Feldman his first at bat.
David really trying to force the issue in his first at bat to shoot the ball to the left side of the field. Just missed. Sneaking one down that left field line, the third base line. So still a little bit of a shift on. See if he tries to stay inside.
Well, he hit right into the shift. There's Gonzalez back of the bag. 2 ground ball outs, 2 down. Warm night here at the ballpark. It is a dugout kids club night. And here is Caleb Joseph, who earned a walk his first at bat. Caleb's bat is coming on. He is 6 for his last 18, including a home run and 6 RBIs over his last 6 games. Breaking ball's in there for a strike.
And Feldman's starting to go with the breaking ball more in the beginning of this, or the middle of this ball game as well. Flipping it in there for a first pitch strike.
Outside. Of course, the Orioles made the roster move today with Steve Clevenger called up from AAA. Buck Showalter now has Clevenger, a left-handed bat, to back up Caleb while waiting for Matt Wieters. And there's a strike 1 and 2. Matt tonight is playing his first rehab game. He's at Bowie. And the plan is for Matt to catch every other day into next week. He's eligible June the 4th to come off the DL. Whether he makes that day remains to be seen, but he is on schedule. Breaking ball into left field for a base hit. He hung it, and Caleb didn't miss it. That was a gift on 1-2. Well, a 2-out single for the O's turns the lineup over.
Well, Caleb, a nice job really staying back. The slower breaking ball, 71 miles an hour. It's almost like this pitch never gets there, but he waits and waits just long enough. And when he commits to that baseball, you saw how long that bat had stayed down and through, getting just enough on to pick up that base hit.
Well, Manny up for a third time. He bounced into an inning-ending double play in the third after a fly ball out in the first. Manny trying to extend his hitting streak to 9 straight. His 8-game streak is the longest current streak on the Orioles. Can't catch up to the off-speed pitch. 0-1.
Pretty healthy cut. Manny going for that 2-run homer. Sitting on that breaking ball.
Down and away. Feldman, his 273rd career appearance tonight. It's his 170th start. Certainly a lot of experience. Outside corner called strike. And Machado's down in the count 1-2. Peak to first. Slow ground ball towards second. Altuve is there. He'll get Machado at first. And that will end the inning, and the Orioles strand another. We're through 5 at Camden Yards. Tough night for the hitters. Astros and O's, no score. any score in this game. Welcome into our booth, Jim Hunter and Mike Bordick. Frustrating for the Orioles. They've had base runners every inning but can't get that big base hit to get a run in.
Well, Feldman coming up with the pitches. We talked about him being a ground ball pitcher at the beginning of the game, and almost looks like he wants to get guys on base so we can flip up that ground ball. And then really early in the ball game, first 3 innings, Orioles were threatening, and he was able to roll over inning-ending double plays. So Feldman sticking to his game plan. He is very frustrating. They're trying to get him elevated and pitches to hit, but he's mixing it up, keeping him off balance, and not many opportunities right now.
And it's encouraging here, the start of Chris Tillman through 5 innings, no runs. A runner was gunned down at the plate, but he looks really consistent here tonight with his pitch selection and his command.
He does. I like the way he looked that last inning. It seems like it takes a little while for Tillman to really settle into a ball game, and here finding himself pitching into the 6th. Last inning mixed in that breaking ball to get some outs, so Tillman looking good.
Center field, Adam Jones back on it. That ball carries, but Adams going to get there and backpedaling out to the warning track. He has it for the out. So Springer with a long fly ball. Ballpark holds it 1 away. Now, Tillman's retired the last 4 batters. The Astros last year lost 92 games. They were 70-92. There have been 12 teams in the history of baseball that have made the playoffs the following year after losing at least 92 games. And one of those teams was the 2012 Orioles. The Orioles in 2011 lost 93 games and then rallied to win the wild card game the following year under Buck Showalter. A.J. Hinch is trying to get that done here with the Astros, get to the postseason. Of course, you'd much rather win the division than have to go in as a wild card, but the way it's gone for the Astros recently, getting into the postseason might be enough.
Yeah. I think any team really wants to get in there, and you know, it's way too early to be thinking about postseason. The Orioles trying to get back to 500.
Towards the middle, diving play by Pierce from his knees. He got him! Steve Pierce takes a base hit away from Altuve. There's your second baseman, folks, and 2 men down.
Come on, Steve. Doing it all. Making the fundamental plays in here. Spectacular play. Smothers it up to the knee. Strong throw over to Chris Davis. Beautiful athletic play from Steve Pierce. Whatever it takes, he gets to the baseball to come up with a big second out.
Altuve can run, and he always hustles. That was a bang-bang play made by Pierce and Bobby Dickerson. All that hard work paying off. Here's Tucker. Outside. Tucker has yet to put the ball in play. He has struck out. He has walked. Just off the plate.
Changeup seems to be the go-to pitch for Tillman. Trying to mix that in off his fastball.
There's a fastball, and he can't reach it at 93.
Nice velocity there from Tillman.
The 2 wins for Tillman on the year have both come on the road. Foul back again late on the swing.
Good location on both fastballs at 93 miles an hour, just painted on the outside corner. Take a look at the Nissan pitch track. You see it. Pitches 3 and 4. That is where you want to put them. I like them a little lower, but can't do a lot just off the plate.
And the 2-2 is upstairs. Tillman's last win was in Boston April 18th. And his other win was on opening day in Tampa. He is 0-2 in 3 starts here at home on the year. Full count on Tucker. 2 down, bases empty. And he struck him out, went upstairs, 94, and Tucker can't reach it. 4 Ks for Chris, mid-6th, still no score. Bottom of the 6th. Nice treat there to hear Mike Bordick's former walk-up song. You were always one step ahead. Here's Jimmy Paredes against Feldman. Jones and Davis will follow. Deep right field, past Springer. That's going to get down against the scoreboard, and it ricochets past Springer, who stumbles. And Paredes will hustle the second base for the double. He is 3 for 3.
Swing it, Jimmy, swing it. That ball was lathered off the right field wall. It's elevated. It might be off the warehouse. A little cutter riding in. Paredes pulling the hands in tight, and he squared it up. This ball is smoked. It hits the wall and just kicks hard away from Springer. Paredes easily into second base.
Now, before the game, Mike, we were chatting over dinner, and you were talking about how unique that scoreboard is out there, in particular for visiting players, because of the meshing that protects the video board. And when it hits that meshing, it doesn't always bounce the way the fielder's expecting.
Yeah, it is a tough right field. It's softer on the meshing. The padding, of course, plays differently, but then there's a concrete around the edges, so it can kick off even harder.
So Springer expecting it to come right at him, and it didn't.
Yeah, coming off the bat hot. As soon as it hits, it makes a hard kick away. You see that mesh, the fencing, and you can't judge which way the ball is going to bounce off there. We were kind of spoiled watching Nick Markakis play right field here for so many years, and the master of Camden Yards right field. A lot of visiting players, some hard times working it off that scoreboard.
Paredes at second after a leadoff double. Outside ball 2. Oh for 4 with runners in scoring position here tonight for the Birds. Another chance, though. They keep knocking on the door, trying to burst in against Scott Feldman. Bounce it towards short. Paredes going to third. Bobbled by Gonzalez, but he recovers to get Jones. Oh, that was a risk, but it turned out okay for Paredes as he reaches third with 1 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. And that fan having a good time after his hat catch of the foul ball. So the infield will be drawn in. The shift is on against Davis. Chance to get the Orioles the lead with Paredes at third and only 1 down. Inside with the cutter. Chris is 0 for 2. He struck out his last at bat with runners at first and second and nobody down. He is 1 for his last 14 and 4 for his last 41. He is due to break out.
Well, it's a great opportunity with the drawn-in infield. You know, these Astros infielders aren't feeling too comfortable up by the grass right now.
Bounce foul behind Wayne Kirby.
And Paredes actually mentioned a risky read, but it was a great read, reading the speed of that baseball to get himself over to third base. Very tough play. If the shortstop would have come to third, high chance for potential throwaway.
A 1-1 on Davis. 1-2.
A good cut there from Davis. That's the type of pitch you want. Get it elevated, a little cutter.
Now Feldman gets ahead of him, a ball and 2 strikes. Upstairs doesn't chase. Feldman has struck out 2. He has walked 3, and so far none of the walks have hurt him. He helped himself out early in the game with double plays to end each of the first 3 innings. Third time this year the Orioles have bounced into 3 double plays in a game. And a bounce foul to stay alive.
There you go. Keep battling right there. Tough little breaking ball down. Soft down at the bottom of the zone, trying to pitch him hard at the top and in that inner third, being worked hard by Feldman with the cutter. And that last pitch, the slow breaking ball down at the bottom of the zone.
2-2 on him, and another foul ball back. Seventh pitch will be coming here to Chris Davis. Showalter, John Russell on the railing of the dugout. Paredes at third, trying to get in and get the Orioles the lead. And a 2-2 pitch coming here to Chris Davis. Loop to right field. Springer was shallow. He's got it. Here comes Paredes. Here comes the throw. It's up the line, and the Orioles grab the lead. A sac fly and an RBI for Davis, and a real good at-bat for Chris. On the 7th pitch, able to put it in play and get the Orioles the lead.
They really had to work for that one. Chris Davis, a great at-bat, fouling off some tough pitches. Do enough to get that sac fly. Paredes, nice base running. We're starting the inning off with a hit. Tough breaking ball. Down and away, somehow getting the bat on it. And Paredes able to score for the sac fly. First run of the ball game.
And the other question is, again, with the Astros and all the shifting, what was Springer doing that shallow with Davis up? He's a power hitter. Here's Steve Pearce, base is empty now, and it's outside. I could see maybe with a right-hander up, but with a lefty power hitter.
Typically when you see Chris Davis up and nobody on base, the second baseman will be playing where Springer is. So he filled in there.
Yeah. Ball 2 to Pearce. So Feldman finally yields the double, the ground out, and a sac fly. A good team manufactured run for the Orioles, which is not usually their style. Foul back 2-1. Bucks team, a play for the big inning team. And when they are going good, that's fine because they tend to get the big innings.
Yeah, they can put up some crooked numbers in a hurry when this offense starts clicking.
Tillman looked lonely on the bench there. Inside nearly hit him. Steve trying to lean into it. And 3-1 the count. Yeah, they leave the starter alone, don't they?
A lot of focus, a lot of concentration right now in this ball game from both pitchers.
Sky to center field, playable for Rasmus. And he's got it, and the inning ends. Orioles settle for a run, but they do get the lead. We'll head to the 7th. Tillman back to work with a 1-0 lead.
relay at the plate. One of the best cutoff and relay teams in the game. Gunning out Preston Tucker. J.J. Hardy. Great cutoff man. Steve Pearce flashing the leather. Beautiful diving play up the middle. Helped Chris Tillman. As the Orioles striking first. Chris Davis a nice at bat. Get the sac fly to score Jimmy Paredes. Paredes 3 hits on the day. That one a double. With Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Orioles with that 1-0 lead. A great at bat from Chris Davis. Pick up that sac fly. Talk about Jimmy Paredes, the hitman, staying hot tonight. Tillman keeping his team in here. Just 74 pitches, 70% fastballs. Breaking ball 19% of the time. That last inning changeup came up big.
He'll go to work on Evan Gattis, Colby Rasmus, and then Valbuena. Now with a 1-0 lead. Inside 1-0. Tillman has just one start all year of at least 7 innings. That was May the 1st in Tampa, the home game in Tampa. And he lost that game. He gave up 2 runs and lost. Orioles had trouble with the bats that night. A little bit low, ball 2. The Orioles as a staff have 16 starts of at least 7 innings, and 12 of those have come in May.
Yeah, it's nice to see the rotation starting to stabilize a little bit. Of course, waiting on Tillman to find his consistent rhythm. Bud Norris trying to get his health back.
Yeah, Bud is scheduled to be at Bowie tomorrow to pitch. Wieters is playing there tonight. Dave Wallace, despite several changes to the staff, and just one to the rotation with Mike Wright in and Bud on the DL. Slice to right field. Delman Young, a long run, and he won't get it. Bounces in there. Trying for 2 is Gattis, and he will make it. Delman was well over towards the gap and just couldn't catch up to it. So in a 1-run game, a double leading off the inning for Gattis.
Delman Young playing over in that gap, and Gattis gets on it. For big guy, turns on the speed. Let's take a look. Pitch down and away, so nice piece of hitting. Delman going a long way to get to this ball. It's a little bobble, and Gattis recognizes that. Delman Young's momentum taking him to that right field line. A little hiccup. He scampers on into second base, get himself in a scoring position.
Colby Rasmus, not only 0 for 2, he has struck out each time. He's now just 1 for his last 15. And he has struck out 54 times in 133 at-bats. He can't catch up to the fastball. .185 with runners in scoring position. The Astros as a team are .236. That is 10th in the 15-team league. Bouncer off the mask of Caleb. Ricochets all the way back just below us.
Ball might have picked up speed when it ricocheted off Caleb's forehead here. Off the top, and then almost made it into the second deck. Kicked off.
Well, Tillman gets ahead 0-2. And he got him again. He's just going right at Rasmus. 3 strikeouts on the night, and 5 now in the game for Chris.
And not wasting any time. Very aggressive with the fastball. Working that outer third. 93 just blows it by him. You see the little loop getting underneath the baseball. Nice light through the zone from Tillman.
1 down. Gattis holds at second. Here's Valbuena. He doubled in the 4th, and with 2 men down, Tucker was at first. Looked like the Astros were going to get the lead, but Tucker was gunned down at the plate on a terrific relay from Lowe to Hardy to Joseph.
Well, it was probably the right send, but I think you have to think twice when you go up against a relay with J.J. Hardy leading the way. One of the better relay men in the game. See Pat Neshek warming up for the Astros.
0-1 on Valbuena. And a roller foul, 0-2. So since the double, 5 pitches from Tillman, 5 consecutive strikes. And a bouncer to first. The runner will advance. Tillman over to cover. Now 2 men down. So Tillman is not away from getting out of this inning and keeping the Orioles in the lead. The Orioles are hosting the AL East rivals Yankees in a 3-game weekend series that begins Friday, June 12th. Tickets are going fast, as they usually do, weekend series against the Yankees, so don't miss out on this exciting weekend. Plus, for each game, fans are encouraged to bring any non-perishable food items and cash donations to the ballpark, all to benefit the Maryland Food Bank as part of the annual Orioles Reach Food and Funds Drive presented by One Main Financial. For your tickets, Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Here's Chris Carter. And a strike.
Getting stronger as the game goes. 94. Better fastballs there. Locating it very well. Right now, I think he is getting stronger as this game progresses. This is what you like to see. I mean, that is his kind of what he's known for, loosening up and settling into a game.
A little bit low, 1-1. Tillman now with 5 strikeouts. He has struck out Rasmus 3 times. He has struck out Tucker twice. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, just 2 for 20 for Carter. And a little bit low with the off-speed pitch, and Carter doesn't chase. For a guy who strikes out as much as Carter does, and he struck out 63 times on the year, he really does have a pretty good batting eye. You could see how he looks over pitches. It must be just the swings and misses.
Well, it must be just the flaw in the swing, maybe a little bit of a loop. But he's laid off some tougher pitches.
Line drive, base hit left field, and that ties the game. So he left it out over the plate, and Carter all over it, and a 2-out single gets this game even. So Tillman, after his team scores in the bottom of the 6th, sees the Astros come right back.
A changeup, hanging changeup at the center of the plate, and he just stays short to the baseball. Nice clean swing, and he'll pick up that RBI to tie the game.
23rd RBI gets Gaddison, so the leadoff double does come around the score. Each team with a leadoff double, and eventually leads to a run. Jason Castro, the catcher, has walked and grounded out. Oh, does that hurt with 2 down?
With these tight ball games, and it really comes down to one pitch, one play that sometimes makes a difference. I'm sure Chris Tillman would love to have that changeup back that he threw to Carter.
A little bit low, ball 2. The Astros are 11-5 in games decided by a run, and that's in large part because of their bullpen. Their bullpen is 12-4. They have 16 decisions out of the bullpen. And their bullpen ERA is 2nd in the league. There's the strike, 2-1. Looked like Castro was taken all the way.
Well, their bullpen's been able to pick up some wins. It's a great come from behind team. A lot of wins this season for the Astros, where they'd have to do some magic, work some magic in the 7th inning on, and they have. They've produced offensively, leading baseball and runs scored, 7, 8, 9 innings.
The Orioles have gone 5-6 in 1-run games. And of course, again, for teams that hope to be in the thick of it in September, those are key games that can go either way. Does your bullpen prevent add-on runs if they come into a game trailing? If they come into a game with a lead, can they keep it? 2-2 on Castro. Runner at first, 2 down. Line to the gap, right center field. No one playing there. That one's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Carter is heading to third. Jones gets it into Pierce. Here comes the throw towards the plate. Not in time. And it gets away from Caleb Joseph. No further advancement from Castro. So back-to-back RBI hits here in the 7th. And the Astros now have a 2-1 lead.
That'll prompt a visit from pitching coach Dave Wallace. Here the breaking ball just kind of staying up a little bit too long. Castro, a nice job getting ahead behind that baseball, waiting on it, and then just driving it into the right center gap. Big guy Carter on the horse. Good base coach Barry Pettis doesn't stop that arm, sends him in for the second run for the Astros.
Tommy Hunter now getting loose for the Orioles. He just did get up. So the Astros, they've been doing this all year. 7th inning or later, with the 2 runs here, they now have 83 runs 7th inning or later. That is more than any team in Major League Baseball. So Tillman, after the double, got the strikeout and the ground out, but he can't end the inning. And the Astros get the lead on back-to-back RBI hits by Carter and Castro. And Castro's in scoring position for Marwin Gonzalez, the number 9 batter. And a fly ball to center. Adam Jones back on it. He'll glide to it, and he has it for the out, and the inning ends. But the damage done. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 left. 7th inning stretch, 2-1 Houston. Play daily baseball, fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. You can enter the promo code TriplePlay for your free entry. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Well, after the Orioles get the lead with a run in the bottom of the 6th, Astros get 2 in the top of the 7th. Scott Feldman now out of the game.
Yeah, take a look at his comparison to pitches this season. Pretty much staying true to form tonight. 72% fastballs. Then went to the breaking ball a little bit more. Felt that better. 6 innings pitched. Just the 1 earned run. And now it's time for the Jiffy Lube pitching change. It's time for a little relief for your car, too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Well, Pat Neshek coming in out of this highly touted Astros bullpen. A lot of new faces. 51% fastballs, 41% breaking ball, a sweeping slider, an occasional change. 2.70 earned run average. Does have 3 wins out of the bullpen. That funky sidearm delivery. That's bringing an upshoot type fastball in there. On a 2-year deal, Neshek did with the Astros after kind of resurrecting his career, or at least finding his fastball velocity with Cardinals.
And Delman Young begins the bottom of the 7th with a single. His first hit in his career against Neshek. Tying run is on just like that. Bellman 1 out of 3 now. And here is JJ. 0 for 2. He has grounded out and lined out to right. And again, Springer in right field, a bit shallow with the right-handed hitter up. And they give Hardy the left center gap. They must not expect the Orioles to pull anything. High strike, 0-1.
Not in the air, I guess. Neshek pretty tough. That very unorthodox delivery and finish. He moves around on the rubber. Changes his pitches. You see all kinds of little quirkiness.
To right, Springer was shallow, and he's right there. Young back to first, and 1 away. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the March of Dimes. The O's have drawn 112 walks for a total of $5,600. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Here's David Lowe. Reached on an error and grounded out. 0 for 2 officially.
And Neshek attacks right-handed hitters primarily with the slider fastball combination. The lefties see the fastball change. Very good change. Very slow. Throws it in the 60s at times.
And there's a strike. Well, Mike, the Astros bullpen really has come on, and this year they become a force after what they've been through the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's been frustrating the last 2 seasons. See those huge earned run averages and where they rank in Major League Baseball, but a tremendous turnaround. Really took this offseason to go out and get some quality arms. Neshek, one of them, and you see that earned run average. One of the better earned run averages in the game right now for a bullpen. But they had to go find these guys. I mean, Neshek had to offer him that 2-year deal. They went out and got Gregerson, who's with Oakland. They signed him to a 3-year deal. So some new arms out there, along with some that they picked up over the last couple of years. Sip was picked up after he was released by the Padres last season, and he's helped out in the bullpen. Will Harris was claimed off waivers from the Diamondbacks. So there's a lot of new arms out in this bullpen, and they're all starting to click, and I think they complement each other. They got the sidearm righty here in Neshek, and then a sidearm lefty down there as well, Joe Thatcher.
Outside. Very unique follow through.
Yeah, take a look at Neshek's delivery. To some extent, looks like Darren O'Day. Dropping down, but then the finish is tall and kind of has a little extra going on with his body motions and facial expressions. There's a good one right there.
1-2 on Lowe. Left field chasing Tucker back, and he'll get there and 2 men down. Opposing teams don't mind when David Lowe hits the ball in the air, and he can't use his speed, so 2 down. Well, they gave Neshek a 2-year guaranteed year, a contract for $12 million, $5.5 this year, $6.5 next year, and then there's a team option for $6.5 for 2017. So the security enticed him to sign with Houston. Caleb Joseph now has singled and walked. Caleb is 0 for 1 against Neshek. Swings through the breaking ball, 0-1.
Take a look at Pat Neshek in his career after 0-1 count. Opponents hitting just 168. 1-0, a little bit better, not much. 236 batting average, but when he gets ahead, then he goes to the off-speed pitches, a tough slider, and of course that changeup. But just the funkiness in and of itself. Nice bubble right there from Kevin Gausman. Tillman not too excited about the bubble.
Tillman's upset with the back-to-back 2-out RBI hits that now have him trailing. Tommy Hunter still getting loose in the Orioles pen. 0-2 on Caleb with Young at first and 2 down. Upstairs. Neshek began his career with Minnesota. He was there 06 through 10. San Diego in 11, a couple of years in Oakland 12 and 13, and last year with the Cardinals. 71 games last year. He pitched to an ERA of 1.87.
A little extra velocity helped Neshek last season, and getting that fastball into the low 90s.
Foul tip, he stays alive. The way he slings that at you, before you know it, it's on you.
Yeah, and it almost has a rising effect, much like Darren O'Day's pitch. He calls that Jenny Fitch. It kind of rises to the top of the zone. He doesn't get that traditional sinker ball type action. Coupled with the good arm action on the changeup and the movement on the slider, led to some success. And obviously, a nice contract, that 2-year deal.
Darren now doing some calisthenics just in case. Young at first, 2 down, and upstairs again, 2-2. Caleb having another good at bat.
Well, Caleb's had a nice start to the season offensively. There may have been a couple little down times, but consistent from the standpoint he's seeing a lot of pitches. He's third on the team in walks. He's got a high on base percentage, so I mean, that's a great sign for Caleb. He's settling in now offensively.
Strike 3 call, breaking ball. Caleb thought it was high, and Neshek gets out of it. So the leadoff single is stranded. We'll head to the 8th. Birds down by a run.
Carter comes up off Tillman, runner at third base. He is able to drive him in with a solid single. Gaddis, who came in and with a double. Tillman out of the ball game. Take a look at his pitch arsenal comparison. A lot more fastballs tonight. That seemed to be the pitch that was working. He was able to locate it in and out. 21% breaking balls. Didn't go to it as often as I thought. Wasn't quite there for him. Change up 11% of the time. It's 7 strong innings. Just the 2 earned runs given up. And he will give way to Tommy Hunter. Tommy Hunter, 70% fastballs, 30% breaking balls. Can move that fastball around, a 2-seamer, and great velocity, mid to high 90s, 3.93 earned run average. Couple wins on the season for Tommy. 13 punch-outs in his 18 3rd innings of work. Only sitting 261 overall, and giving up the 2 home runs.
George Springer will lead off. And the breaking ball's in there for a strike. Now here's the situations we were talking about earlier for bullpens. Tommy comes on as Tillman goes 7 innings, and the Orioles trail by a run. So his job, do not allow any add-on runs to make it more difficult for the Orioles to come back. An appeal, he went too far. That's a strike, so 0-2.
Well, a couple good bullpens going at it right now. Take a look at the breaking ball. Springer gearing up for the heat. Nice location there to get the check swing, strike 2. Tommy's been one of the hot arms out of this Orioles bullpen in his last 13 outings. Looking on a 1.23 earned run average, so he has been very solid.
He's got 3 consecutive scoreless outings going, including picking up a win. And the 1-2 is lined to right. That's a base hit, and it's heading towards the wall. Springer really uses the whole field. He's heading to second, and he has a double. So he is 2 for 4, and a leadoff double in the 8th. So there you go. Looking for insurance and a leadoff double.
Well, he covered it for his 10th double of the season. Going up that outside corner. Not a bad fastball right on the black, but he shows what he can do when he gets the arms extended. He smokes it at the right field wall. Pick up that double.
The Astros are 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. The one was the base hit by Carter that got the game tied in the 7th. Here's Altuve. He does have 1 sacrifice on the year. He's one of the best hitters in the league. And he's not going to bunt. He takes upstairs 1-0. Chad Qualls now getting use. They have an 8-man bullpen. The runner out at second base, the way the Orioles have not hit tonight, is very big. And a base hit to left field. Springer had to wait to make sure it got through, so he'll be held. Back-to-back singles off Hunter, or back-to-back hits off Hunter, a double and a single to begin the 8th inning.
Altuve is tough. He gets aggressive up there. He can use the whole field. Top of this lineup with Springer and Altuve. Pretty impressive 1-2 punch.
Brian Mattis now getting loose. We're about to get loose. Here's Preston Tucker, who has struck out twice. He has also walked. Up the middle, they'll play for 2. Machado has a choice. Davis holds it first. Breaking ball for a strike. That's a good call by Caleb. The Astros feast on fastballs, and Tucker just let that one go by.
That's one thing Tommy's been really good at now. This new role, the ability to throw 4 pitches for strikes. So he's a one-time starter.
Altuve broke, and a late swing and a foul. He had a real good jump. He'll get back to first. He has 14 steals on the year, tied for the league lead.
He was motoring down there, had a real good jump. Caleb kind of cheating coming out of the chute a little bit sooner.
Old foul, look out. And that one hung a little bit. Loud foul ball. Springer at third, Altuve at first. Big moment in this game. Orioles down 2-1. Astros looking for more. Altuve runs, check swing and a breaking ball, gets away from Caleb. Is it a check swing or a strike? I guess he checked.
Well, Buck would be letting him know if he thought it was a strike. A good hard breaking ball down. Caleb did a nice job keeping it close enough to where Springer couldn't advance and score that run.
Tucker has never faced Tommy Hunter as a rookie, first time. Comebacker right to Hunter, and they have Springer hung up. He throws to Machado. Manny running him down, then tags him out. Heading to second is Tucker. Tremendous play by Tommy Hunter to glove that. and they get the lead runner. It'll be the same situation now with one down.
Well, great defensive play here by Tommy Hunter. Look at that athleticism. Big guy getting up and really runs this rundown very well. Takes his time, doesn't panic at all. But you have to give the Astros some props here for ending up on second and third. Yeah, Springer getting hung up, but he stalls just enough to get Altuve over to third and Tucker hustling on into second base. Man, he didn't have a shot there. So smart base running after a base running mistake.
Jake Marisnick will come off the bench and pinch run for Tucker. Here's Evan Gattis. Orioles will keep the infield in. Breaking ball he doesn't chase. Astros with Marisnick in the game have 2 players left on the bench. They're going with a 3-man bench and an 8-man bullpen. Hunter trying to work out of a jam here. There's a strike. Gattis wanted to pull the trigger. He saw the breaking ball and thought about it, and by the time he decided, it was by him.
Yeah, wise choice to take if you're a little in between. Why give up an at bat? So smart job holding up.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
That's amazing, the movement Tommy Hunter gets, 95 miles an hour, and that is just boring down and in on Gattis.
So Gattis down in the count. Hunter, it was first and third after 2 batters of this inning. He now has 1 down. Runners at second and third. Slow roller toward short. Hardy's going to come to the plate, and out at the plate is Altuve. So they cut down another potential run. Altuve going on contact.
Another good play by the Orioles defense. Altuve sliding over the bat. Hurt himself in there. Altuve going on contact. Very speedy, but pretty routine play for J.J. Hardy. Puts the throw on the money, and yeah, Altuve getting hung up on the bat. Left at home plate. Counted off the knee, then rolls up the leg. Nice play by the Orioles defense.
So Hunter will leave. He faced 4 batters. Brian Mattis will come on with the left-handed bat of Colby Rasmus coming up. 2 on, 2 down in the 8th.
Percent of the time. Breaking ball 30%. That number is starting to go up, as well as the change. Brian's been asked to face more right-handers, so you see the off-speed pitches clicking up a little bit. 1-2 record with 3.18 earned run average. 13 punch-outs with 10 walks on the season. But why he's in this situation, lefties hitting just 185 off of Mattis.
And Colby Rasmus is that lefty. Swinging and a miss at the breaking ball.
See Mattis with inherited runners stranded, 4 of 6, 67%. Now Brian has been a stud in these situations since 2012. Is 4th in all of Major League Baseball, stranding 84% of his inherited runners. So I'm no stranger to these situations.
Rasmus has struck out all 3 of his at-bats tonight. Those at-bats against Tillman. Chaz Rowe just beginning to get loose. Check swing and it's outside. 2-1. Two to 1 game in the 8th. First and third for the Astros. Marcinick the pinch runner at third. Gaddis at first. The first pitch was real good. He got Rasmus to swing through it, but these last 3 out of the strike zone clearly from the hand, and Rasmus didn't even sniff it.
Yeah, you want to get him leaning, make it look like it's going to be close enough.
Strike on the corner, 3-2.
Quality fastball, executed very well. Down and away.
Gaddis will be off from first. Marisnik is not forced, so he'll stay put at third. 3-2 with 2 down. And a foul right at the plate. So Gaddis will retreat and get back to first. So Mattis about to deal his 7th pitch in this at bat to Rasmus. Three and two down with 2 men on. Mattis will deal to Rasmus. Foul back below us.
Try right there from Brian. Buzz that fastball in there after a 3-2 breaking ball.
Mattis worked in 2 of the games in Miami. The Saturday game, the game in which he was ejected, and then he worked 2 innings on Sunday. 3-2 is outside, ball 4. A very close pitch.
It really was. Could have gone either way. Look at the fastball just working off the plate, 91 miles an hour.
So now the anxiety increases. Here's Valbuena. Rasmus was the guy you wanted to get. Valbuena much more prone to make better contact. Marcinick, Gaddis, and Rasmus third to first with Valbuena against Mattis. And a swing and a miss, foul tip actually held by Joseph, and it's 0-1. Valbuena is 0 for 5 against Mattis in their head-to-head matchups. He doubled in the 4th. He's 1 for 3 overall. Check swing and it's low. Wouldn't chase the changeup.
Well, good try. You want to keep it down there. Nice flinch out of Valbuena.
Hit to right field. Delman Young back. He's not going to get it. It's over his head and against the wall. Here's Marcinick to score. Gaddis to score. A 2-run single off the scoreboard for Valbuena. And another 2-out base hit for the Astros. It's now 4-1 Houston in the 8th.
Pretty good swing there from Valbuena. Actually going to the well too many times with that breaking ball, and Valbuena doesn't miss.
Rasmus ended up at third. Valbuena stopped at first, and here's Buck Showalter. And we're going to get Chaz Rowe in here to try to get this final out. A big add-on inning for the Astros.
His pitch arsenal: 48% fastballs, 52% breaking balls, good sinker, good sweeping slider. And see, recently called up for the Orioles and pitched 2 innings against the Marlins. Didn't give up any runs, couple punch outs from Chaz Rowe. Actually, a lot of success down in AAA Norfolk, where he started the season, at 3 wins and a 2.19 earned run average. So looking to carry that success over here.
He's facing Chris Carter, first and third, 2 down. All 4 Astros runs in this game, as Carter takes a close pitch for ball 1, have been driven in with 2 men down. And the Orioles have managed just 1 run on 5 hits against the Astros pitching, Feldman and Neshek. Inside ball 2. Mattis walked Rasmus. That kept the inning going. A close 3-2 pitch, but it was outside. And then Valbuena with the 2-run single to right. Ball 3. Chaz Rowe got a long look in spring training. He's pitching well at AAA and brought up. Swings through at 3-0. Now, the Orioles in the bullpen, Oliver Drake is the only pitcher of the current 7 in the bullpen that does have options. So if they look to make a move with Rowe, they would have to put him on waivers. And that's inside ball 4. So this is turning into a tough inning for the Oriole bullpen. Well, our drive of the game is brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer. 5 years running. See why at LexusofTowson.com.
Yeah, Castro got on a Tommy Hunter breaking ball, driving in Carter all the way from first base to the go-ahead run. So big swing, a big inning for Castro.
Second time in this inning, the bases have been loaded. Left field. Long run for David Lowe. He's going to get there, and he's got it for the out, and Rowe gets the Orioles out of it. But a big inning for the Astros. They add on 2. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. 4-1 Houston. will take the mound for the Birds against Colin McHugh of the Astros. Our coverage on MASN begins at 4 o'clock with those extra presented by Southwest. And then game coverage at 4:30. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
And take a look at tomorrow's starters. Colin McHugh off to a good start with the 5 wins, 406 earned run average. But Ubaldo, quite a turnaround. The story of the year, 2.82 earned run average after a very disappointing year last season. 42 strikeouts, just 13 walks for Ubaldo. And Chad Qualls, the veteran right-hander, now in the game. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The power sinker, he uses it 55% of the time. The breaking ball is the slider, and the rare changeup, 2% of the time, is actually a split finger from Qualls. A 2.60 earned run average. 21 strikeouts, just 3 walks from the veteran, and 17 1/3. Holding opponents just a 215 batting average overall. Lefties way down to 125, and righties at 268.
Colby Rasmus moves from center field to left field. Tucker out of the game, and Marcinick, who pinch ran for Tucker's in the game in center field. So it's a 3-run deficit for the Orioles. 6 outs to play with. Here's Machado, top of the lineup for the O's. Outside, 1-0. Manny has only faced Qualls once. He is 0 for 1. Bouncer towards third. That's going to go foul. Left-hander Tony Sipp getting loose. One of 2 left-handers in that 8-man bullpen. It
must be hard at times to get all those arms to work. An 8-man bullpen, keep them fresh.
Manny off the end of the bat. Rasmus is back on it. And he has it for the out. So 1 away here in the 8th. Well, an update from Bowie. Matt Wieters pretty happy with how the arm felt, pretty happy with how the night went. Nice to get a win. He was 2 for 4 with a couple of singles and a run, and he did throw out a runner.
Very nice. Good news from Matt Wieters.
Thanks to Steve Molesky via Twitter for providing that information and the quotes from Matt. That was almost a dream night in Bowie. Dylan Bundy was scheduled, but he has some shoulder tendonitis. He's been shut down for a little bit. They did examine him today. No structural damage for Dylan, just sore shoulder. Paredes takes low, 1-0. Qualls is in his second tour of duty with the Astros. He came through the Astros system, reached the big leagues in 04 and was there through 07. Then he went to Arizona, Tampa Bay, San Diego, Philadelphia, the Yankees, Pirates, Miami, and now he's back in Houston for a second year. Right into the shift. There's Altuve. Tough bounce, but he plays it. And 2 away here in the Oriole 8th inning. Fans, follow Orioles baseball all season with MLB.com At Bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. So 2 down. The Astros bullpen has retired 5 of 6 faced. Delman Young singled against Neshek last inning, leading off, but Neshek got the next 3. Adam is 0 for 2. He's also walked. He has grounded out twice. Adam is just 3 for his last 24.
It gets frustrating at times for hitters, obviously lining out and put a good swing on the ball, and it just doesn't go find the grass where you want it to get that base hit, and that stuff can kind of start mounting up for a hitter. Adam Jones has hit some balls hard, and it's so frustrating when the defense starts moving around on you and you hit it right into the shifted defense. But Adam's still taking some quality at bats. I like the fact that he's still letting the ball travel.
And another ground ball, this one right at Marwin Gonzalez. Qualls has a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the 8th. We'll head to the 9th at Camden Yards. Astros with a 4-1 lead. by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Royal Farms. Royal Farms ATMs are surcharge free. Get your cash for nothing. Bank or credit card fees may still apply. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. 4-1 game in the ninth. Astros with 2 in the seventh, 2 add-on runs in the eighth. Chaz Rowe stays on. They'll face Marwin Gonzalez, then back to the top of the lineup. First pitch swinging, bouncer to Davis. He'll flip to Rowe covering up. 1 pitch, 1 down in the ninth. And Gonzalez was the only Astro not to bat in the eighth. And first ball swinging here in the ninth. For the Orioles in the bottom of the ninth, down by 3. Davis, Pierce, and Young are due up.
Well, for the Orioles, obviously Chaz Rowe wants to put up a 0. It'd be nice to have a quick inning. Get this team back in there and let the sluggers go to work. Oh, wow. That one caught Caleb really flush. And Caleb taking some punishment already this year, but that one, oof, rattles the whole cage, and then the helmet almost pops off the head.
They're going to break the ball in there. 0-2. Harris is getting loose in case the Astros add a run here. Gregerson is getting loose in case it's a save, which it is at the moment. And the 0-2 pitch outside. He wouldn't chase. Springer's had a good night. He is 2 for 4 and got the rally in the eighth going with a leadoff double. He's 5 for 9 in this series. Just inside. 2-2. Tillman pitched well enough to win. No run support. 2 runs over 7 innings for Chris. He allowed the 2 runs in the seventh. Leadoff double, then he got a strikeout and a ground out and just couldn't get that third out. RBI single by Carter, RBI double by Castro.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Orioles, when it seemed like they were going to start threatening this Astros team, especially early in the game, Scott Feldman came up with the big pitch to really minimize the damage. Talked about the 3 ground ball double plays he was able to get in the first 3 innings, so that helped his cause.
Now, the Orioles had base runners in all 6 innings against Feldman and managed just 1 run. And they've gone 3 up, 3 down just once in this game. That was in the 8th. And Qualls just retired them. Well, there's a walk with 1 down. That is the second walk allowed by Chaz Rowe.
Second baseman, number 27,
Jose Altuve now. He singled in the rally in the 8th. His only hit of the night, but it was a big one. As it really put the heat on Tommy Hunter. First and third with nobody down. Tommy eventually got 2 outs and then was removed. And the Astros scored after he left the game. He made a couple of real good pitches, Tommy did, on Tucker and Gaddis to get bouncers, one back to him and the other to Hardy, who gunned down a runner at the plate. On 1 on the foul ball. Jose Altuve is just 25 years old and in his 5th season.
And turning into quite a superstar there in Houston. All-star second baseman.
Right field, Delman Young back on it, and he's got it. He throws behind the runner, and safe is the call. Second base umpire Tom Hallion there. So Davis that time stayed on the bag. Delman threw behind the runner, trying to catch Springer napping. It's a pretty close play there.
Oh, it really was. I think a lot of teams underestimate the arm strength of Delman Young. And puts on a good throw. Nice job by Chris Davis. Very similar play earlier in the ball game where Chris was a little late getting back to the base and had to come off to get the throw.
Marcinick up his first at-bat, pitch out, and Springer was not moving. Marcinick in the game yesterday was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. One and 0 on Marcinick. And a strike at the knees, 1-1. This was a scoreless game heading to the bottom of the 6th. The Orioles manufactured a run. Paredes a double. Jones a ground out, got him to third. And Chris Davis a sac fly. Astros got 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th for a 4-1 lead. Weak ground ball to Hardy. JJ's got to get it over in a hurry, and he does. So Marcinick is retired. Chaz Rowe gets out of it after a 1-out walk. We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Birds need 3.
Just seems like the Orioles have had all opportunities, but they can't score.
They cannot score. A couple of line drives right at people with men in scoring position. Didn't do the Orioles very much good. It was the Houston Astros with a lot of clutch hitting tonight. All of their runs have been with 2 outs. The Orioles need to come up big in this 9th inning. They're down 3.
Do or die 9th for the Birds, are trailing by 3. Let's go back upstairs now to Jim Hunter and Mike Bordick for the bottom half of the 9th inning.
All right, Tom and Rick, thanks so much. And Rick's point correct. 4 2-out runs driven in by the Astros, and that's the difference in this game. And now the Orioles have to go against the closer for the Astros in the bottom of the 9th.
Now Luke Gregerson, Astros really enticed him with a 3-year deal to lock him up. Fastball 55% of the time, breaking ball the sweeping slider, primarily a 2-pitch pitcher. 2 wins. He has saves, 12 saves out of his 13 opportunities, 18 punch-outs, 5 walks on the year, holding opponents to a .233 batting average. Righties down to 184. A lot of sliders when he gets ahead. That's his primary out pitch, both to lefties and righties.
And those 2 add-on runs against the Orioles pen in the 8th make it more difficult for the O's here, and easier for Gregerson to earn the save. He has just 1 blown save on the year. He is 12 out of 13. And even in the game where he blew the save, the Astros eventually won that game. They are 20-0, the Astros are, when he pitches. So here's Davis leading off. Orioles need base runners. And a foul ball. Alejandro Diaz is on deck to pinch hit for Pierce to get a lefty up. Davis is 2 for 2 in his career against Gregerson. 0-2.
Pretty good location with that slider. His go-to pitch.
Shift on against him. There's Altuve in shallow right. Won't chase, 1-2. Feldman went 6 strong innings. Double play helped him out early. Neshek a scoreless 7th. Qualls a scoreless 8th. And now Gregerson.
And Buck wanting some base runners.
And Davis down on strikes. He was struck out twice tonight, now 64 times on the year.
Another good slider. 3 sliders in a row after getting ahead with the 2-seam sinking fastball, and he buries it. Starts it off on the inner third, ends up down and then off the plate. Davis swinging over the top.
Alejandro Diaz will pinch hit. Alejandro's bat has cooled off. He is 1 for his last 13. As a pinch hitter on the year, this is just his 3rd at bat. He's 0 for 2.
This Astros team, every time you look up, they have a shift on.
Diaz trying to slap it the other way, but fouled it off. Orioles down to their final 2 outs. Down by 3. The Astros trying to get this win and set up a rubber game for the series tomorrow. And Diaz down on strikes. So back-to-back strikeouts to begin the Oriole 9th.
It's tough to pick up the baseball, tough to pick up the spin. It's either going to sink or it's going to dive down and in on the lefty. And this one dives down and in, almost an identical slider to the one Chris Davis got.
Delman 1 out of 3. He singled in the 7th off Neshek. Takes ball 1. Delman 1 for 2 against Gregerson. The one hit a home run. And a pop-up. This should do it. Altuve calls off Carter. He's got it. And the Astros even up this series as they come from behind with 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th to beat the Birds. And the Astros bullpen as good as advertised as they hold down the Orioles over the final 3 innings. Well, we hope you can join us tomorrow. More O's action. Ubaldo Jimenez will take the mound against Colin McHugh in the series finale. Our coverage on Masson begins at 4 o'clock with O's Extra presented by Southwest, and game coverage at 4:30. And now for Mike Portick and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Camden Yards, where the Astros even up the series as they beat the Birds by a final of 4-1. Tonight's telecast, a massive presentation. Tom and Rick, O's Extra presented by PNC, comes your way right now.